I have almost 1 million followers on LinkedIn and over 425,000 LinkedIn newsletter subscribers. The thing that I would focus on if I were going to really start to build my personal brand on LinkedIn today are LinkedIn short videos or LinkedIn Reels, LinkedIn Shorts. If you're not aware, LinkedIn is testing out this beta feature where basically at the bottom of your screen, it will now say home and then it will have a video tab. And when you click that video tab, you will only be able to scroll with videos, kind of like TikTok. So you just scroll up and you see a video, you see a video, you see a video. These videos are the same size as a YouTube short or TikTok video, and they are focused on learning, education, inspiration, leadership, more LinkedIn kind of topics, but that's what they're testing. If you're not in the beta feature, your video can still be shown in the beta feed. So just know that if you start posting short videos on LinkedIn, you could potentially be shown in the feed. We have clients that do not have the beta feature on their phone, but whose videos have just taken off and are shown in that feed. So let's go into a few of the best practices of LinkedIn short video. So number one, shoot vertically. Vertically is like putting your phone up, not wide like a YouTube video, but vertical shot. The video should be between 45. We've seen that 45 seconds and 90 seconds or 45 seconds and 2 minutes works pretty well. And especially if that video is saying something that isn't really said already that they've seen in a million other videos, which is very important.
Do you feel like you give boring presentations? If so, I want you to follow this rule. The rule is the 10-20-30 rule. And what that basically means is that you are not going to have more than 10 slides. The presentation will not be longer than 20 minutes long, and your font will not be smaller than 30.
You should see these videos twofold. One partition of the videos you should see as educational. So as things that are probably directly related to what it is that you sell or what it is that you do with the clients that you have. 4 out of 5 people on LinkedIn are decision makers. The people on LinkedIn make double the income on average compared to those on other social media platforms. So you're starting off with an audience that is a little bit of a higher caliber off the bat, especially if your service offering is a little bit more higher ticket. What this will allow you to do is sell faster because you've reached the decision maker directly and because they're more likely to afford your services. And then B, inspirational. So think about the emotional and energetic wellness of your clients outside of what it is that you do that you may have in common with them. Maybe it's books that you've read. Maybe it's personal development stuff that you're working on. What things could you share that could benefit them so that they could also have the energy to focus more on what they want to achieve? The people that are the most successful, they don't allow pain to stop them, but they also don't run from the pain. They really, really experience it. They learn from it. They don't repeat the same mistakes and they move forward. But if every single time something goes wrong or unlike how you thought it would go, and you just run from it, you flee, then how can you ever learn? The fourth thing is to get to the point in the video. I see a lot of those videos when I'm scrolling that are like, hey, LinkedIn family, my name is, I don't think that that's necessary, especially when you're on a feed like that. If I find what really is interesting in this video, if I find that what you're saying is cool, my natural curiosity is going to be like, who is this? And because it's connected to your LinkedIn, I'm just going to go to your profile and see what else I could find about you, where I could learn more, where I could sign up for your private newsletter. Do you have a website? But if you're not saying what I need you to say to spark that curiosity, the way that my brain and other people's brains have been trained for this short feed is to just move on. So you want to get to the point. When you really think of personal brand, you should start to think of it like a lifestyle. It shouldn't be like something that you're going to be doing for a week or a month or whatever. You should be thinking in terms of like 10 years. The fifth thing is to use captions on your video. And there are a million apps that you could use to do this on your phone. If you're going to shoot on your phone, there's literally an app called Captions. And then there's an app called CapCut. If you're going to edit more on your computer, I highly recommend either CapCut, which has a desktop app now, or Descript. If you're going to repurpose a long video that you have into short videos, then you could use Opus or Descript. And I'll put all all of that in the information below. So the sixth thing is to write text with your video. So when you publish a video on LinkedIn, it's going to have this space above it where you could write something to go with your video. I advise that you write something similar to what you say in your video. Maybe you could add some context.
Make sure that you write something in this space here that is similar to what you say in your video. You want to make sure that the spacing is readable. That is a fancy word for it is easy to read even when your eyes may be exhausted after 12 hours of work. You can use the Hemingway app to check the readability grade level of what you write. And make sure to never post without telling your audience where to go next. See you later, alligator.
And then at the bottom, always lead them to the call to action or lead them to somewhere, maybe a longer form video where they could stay on topic. I'll give you an example. If I do a short and it's like, these are the 3 reasons why you should do your LinkedIn newsletter, and then I send you to an article that's about LinkedIn live events, that really is not going to make sense. But if I send you to an article about the 7 other reasons or how to actually start your LinkedIn newsletter, that logical sequence makes sense and more people will click. So it's not just about putting a call to action. It's about making sure that the call to action makes sense and is the next step in whatever sequence it is that you're expressing. The 7th thing is to share specific and or actionable advice. I should watch that video and be able to go do something. I should watch that video and be able to ask myself a question. I should watch that video and be able to be inspired because of a specific story that you share. But if it's just general and very generic, people will just scroll by because they've heard it a million times, and you're not proving through the specificity of what you're sharing that you actually are different, unique, and know what you're talking about. You could have just Googled that or had ChatGPT write that script or took it from somebody else. So when I'm watching the short, I should feel like, whoa, this person really knows what they're talking about. Or I've heard that thing before, but I haven't heard it put in this particular way. And that really helps me understand this particular thing. If someone's not getting that feeling, then it's time to really work on the videos. And then number 8, do not put logos on it to make it look like an ad. So I see a lot of people when they do the shorts, they put their website, their logo, all of this branded stuff, and it should not feel like an advertisement. It should feel like helpful, relevant, recent information. I should feel intrigued. I should feel like I want to know who this person is. Who is this person? And then I should want to click your profile, and your profile should obviously be optimized for me to know where exactly do I go next to learn more about this person, even if that next step is outside of LinkedIn.